Hey guys, how you doing? I wanted to start off this video by saying thank you. Last night I recorded a couple videos, and then the last one I did, I asked maybe we could try to get to 100 subscribers on the channel, and I woke up this morning and we were already at 128, I think, 129, and throughout the day more subscribers have been joining, and now I'm actually right up against 200. So I want to say thank you guys. Maybe if I get to 1,000, if I get there, we'll see. We'll do something fun. I was trying to figure out what I could do with 1,000 subscribers when we hit that. Maybe a giveaway or something. I'm having a lot of people send me questions and stuff about, I guess, who I am and my backstory and everything, I guess. And I even thought about possibly maybe for 1,000 subscribers, I'll post a whole video about who I am and everything so you guys get to know me a little better. But I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate all the comments, all the likes you guys are giving me, and good or bad, leave a comment because I have a lot of fun talking about this stuff, and I always appreciate a fun, spirited debate in the comments. So everyone be nice to each other, of course, but thank you guys. I really appreciate it. So today some news came out about Call of Duty and the sales figures. Mostly in the UK, we still don't have figures around, you know, the rest of the world. The United States, which is a very important market for Activision. The United States is almost always the biggest seller for Call of Duty. But the sales came out. It was to be expected. It sold less than Black Ops 3, which is kind of what we all thought from the beginning. And I kind of saw this coming. I think a lot of people did. Activision talked about it on one of their conference calls, basically saying, hey, don't expect better than last year's numbers. And if you're a business, you always look at last year's number compared to this year's number. No matter what you are, you always look at it, whether you're retail or you're contracting or you're self-employed. You're always looking at last year's number compared to this year's number to see if you're growing or shrinking. And in this case, Activision's in a weird place because they technically have 3 different companies making Call of Duty, and they're in like a yearly 3-year cycle. So we won't see the next Black Ops game, if that's what they call it. We won't see it next year, we'll see it the following year, because next year I believe a Sledgehammer game's doing it. And this year we had, of course, Infinity Ward. Now, if you go and watch the trailer for the original Call of Duty, and this is like infamous online now, the amount of dislikes on that trailer is ridiculous. I mean, I think it's coming up on 3.5 million dislikes, and it only has like 500,000 likes, which is a massive, you know, 25-75 or 25-75 split. So it's very, very weird, but after thinking about it, now, me personally, I don't play a lot of Call of Duty anymore. It kind of started losing me, which I think it lost a lot of people as they became more futuristic. I played Ghosts and wasn't the biggest fan of it, and I played Black Ops. I think I like Black Ops more, but when Ghosts came out, it became very futuristic, and I personally loved the original Call of Duty on the PC. At the time, I just got a new video card. I'm trying to remember what it was. This was 2003. I might have had the NVIDIA, I'm going to say NVIDIA 6600 GT. And if you're a computer gamer, you may know what I'm talking about, but it was an old card. It actually upgraded me for my FX 5200 if you go back that far. And it was a big deal because I think I got upgraded to 512 megs of DDR2 video RAM? Big deal. Anyway, getting past that, that's for another video, I guess. So Call of Duty Run came out, and it was so cool. It felt real, which is basically the theme of this entire video. Call of Duty at that point felt like a realistic game. Like, you know, everything just felt good. It felt real. It felt like it was trying to tell a good story that could have happened that day, for example. You know, like that's an actual thing that could have happened. Now we're into territory where we are shooting each other in space. So we're floating around shooting each other in space, and it's weird. There were aliens you had to shoot. It seemed odd. From what I remember, a lot of people, I didn't play that far into Ghost because I started playing it and it felt weird. I think I was over at a friend's house and we kind of fired up the Xbox 360 at the time, and then eventually he got a PS4. We played it on the PS4. And I remember playing it, and it just didn't feel the same. He was telling me that it became super, like, really futuristic and everything, and I just wasn't feeling the same about Call of Duty. Now, my favorite Call of Duty game is definitely Modern Warfare 2. I loved Call of Duty 4, don't get me wrong. The original, the one that really got everything started, was like the big jump-off point for Call of Duty. I loved that game and it was great, but Modern Warfare 2 to me refined that game beyond like the original. So I played a lot of Modern Warfare 2, and the reason I really liked it, there were some big chances they took. In Modern Warfare 2, you probably remember this, I think everybody does who's played it, there was that big controversial scene in the airport where you play as a terrorist that basically goes through and just mows down innocent civilians, and you are a terrorist committing a terrorist act. And it was a big deal at the time. I remember, because I was actually working at a video game store at the time, we would actually have to tell people before we sold it to them that you could act as a terrorist and mow people down. We had to tell this to parents at the time, and honestly we'd have to tell it to people when they buy it, because some people were really offended by that scene. And if you didn't work in the video game industry, you might not have known that. A lot of people were so offended by it that they actually would bring it back that day. I had a couple people we sold the game to. They were really excited. Call of Duty, great. They probably got that message and they were like, well, I don't care. It's not a big deal. Violence is violence. And they got to that scene and they played through it, horrified, I guess, and then they bring the game back to me. And, I mean, at the time, I'm just the guy ringing the register, and he wants to return an open game for new, which is against our policy, and we had to, like, rework his entire policy to where they could return it if it offended them. And I'm sure Activision probably dealt with a lot of that. Infinity Ward did, but to me, that was a big deal. That was a great risk to take to try to set your game apart from anything that's ever come out. I mean, that was a really, really powerful scene. If you go back and play it now, compared to what's out now with Call of Duty, it's just not as powerful as that scene. And again, it stirred so much controversy, probably as much as what Grand Theft Auto does, you know, on a year-to-year basis. And that game, I would have war veterans come in and tell me that Call of Duty felt so realistic to them that it would cause minor PTSD flashbacks, which was, I mean, I don't understand that because I don't have PTSD, but the fact that these guys were coming in and telling me it was that realistic to them when they'd have their surround sound blaring and their big 60-inch TV up there, and you have these flashbacks happening. I mean, that's insane. And now we're in space shooting each other, floating around in what can only be described as fantastical. I mean, it's not something that you're going to see, you know, that you can't even imagine we would be doing as a military. At least in Modern Warfare 2, the stuff going on, you could be like, okay, yeah, I could see our government doing this. I could see, you know, I could see our military doing this, you know. And now we have us going into space. And I think that's what turned a lot of people off of this game. I think that's why so many dislikes were happening. And let's be honest, at some point, people are going to dislike something just to dislike it because it's popular. I mean, how often does that happen on the internet? We dislike something because someone else disliked it, or they told us to dislike it, and all of a sudden we agree with them. But I'm not saying the game is bad. It's not a bad game. It really isn't. It's just not a Call of Duty kind of game. It just doesn't feel like Call of Duty most of the time. And Black Ops 3 kind of strayed away from it too. That was kind of futuristic, but I gave him a pass because that's just the way it was kind of going. And I mean, honestly, Black Ops, yeah, I guess the first one wasn't very futuristic, but after a while, I kind of just let it slide, and I was like, hey, zombies is fun. They're really, really putting a lot of time into that. That's great. And I think Activision kind of saw the writing on the wall for this Infinite Warfare game, and that's why we got an older Call of Duty remastered to help sell it. Honestly, Activision, you could have done this. Scrap all the R&D for Infinite Warfare, okay? Don't even develop this game. Don't put the money into it. Take the money you were going to do, save it, and just remaster Call of Duty Modern Warfare on the PS4 and the Xbox One, and sell it for $40. Because I can tell you right now, people would have walked in that store or gone digital download and would have bought this game for $40 because so many people online are buying Infinite Warfare Deluxe Edition or Legacy, whatever it's called, Legacy Edition, for $80. And they're not even playing Infinite Warfare. What are you doing? I have to imagine that they're going to get to the point where they have to make up money from Call of Duty not selling, and they're going to put it up on the shop eventually when it stops being an incentive for them to sell this Infinite Warfare game. You're going to see it pop up, and hopefully it's no more than $30, although depending on how much money they have to make up, it might be $40. Now, don't get me wrong, Infinite Warfare, while it has not sold as well, it was released in the UK, they said that it sold 40% less than Black Ops 3 did last year. when you take the 360 and PS3 copies out that did not release this year, obviously, because we've cut ties with that generation at this point for Activision. Now, that's not a bad thing, because Infinite Warfare still outsold Battlefield 1 and Titanfall 2 combined, because it's still a big game. Remember, a percentage of a big number is still a big number. So they still outsold those two games. But if you're a business, like I said, looking year over year, you're going to see that the line in the line in the conference office is going down. You know, they're having their conference calls and stuff, and the graph they put up, the line's going down. And that's not good. Now, what they need to do, what Infinity Ward, my personal opinion, they can do whatever they want. They're a big business. But in my opinion, they need to get back to what made Call of Duty awesome. You know, you don't even have to go into the past like how Battlefield did, which turned out great for them because it was one of their better selling Battlefields. You don't have to go into the past. Honestly, I think a lot of people would like that. But if they just went current, you know, just current, like something we could get into and say, this feels real. This is a game that I can play, and I could be like, man, this is how it must be in real life. Of course it's not, but, you know, I mean, this is how it must be over there. And they could go anywhere. They could go into Afghanistan. They could go over into Iraq. They could even do, like, Secret Service missions or something, and it would be awesome. But I think a lot of people are just really turned off by the space combat. People are comparing it to Halo, even though it doesn't control it all the same. And it's just the look and the feel is just not a military Call of Duty game to me. I mean, remember when I started out with Call of Duty, I had this look of, you know, the World War II helmets on, going in fighting people with smoke bombs and stuff, and it was awesome. And when the 360 came out, I remember Call of Duty 2 came out, and I was just blown away by how great it looked. Which, if you go back and look at it now, it's not as good, but it's still a great game. And now we're dealing with aliens and space and shooting each other, and it just feels weird. I don't get it. But again, they can do what they want. They're a big company, but I think a lot of people, again, were turned off due to space combat, futuristic gameplay, and it just doesn't feel real to me. So, but those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you think Call of Duty kind of hit a sales slump just because of the time of the year with Battlefield and Titanfall out. There were a lot of things to choose from, shooter-wise, and maybe Call of Duty isn't what pulled your money in. Maybe it was Battlefield, or maybe it was Titanfall 2. And just let me know what you guys think below, what your opinions are on this, and definitely like the video if you like it. And if you're enjoying my videos, definitely subscribe. I'll have a lot more coming out, and we'll talk about some more Switch stuff. Don't worry, I know a lot of people are sending me messages for Switch stuff, so we'll do some more stuff with the Nintendo Phantom system that's still not at all spec'd out. So, but until then, I will see you guys next time.